Hi, I'm Adam from the Guide to Woodworker, and today we're going to make this consumables cabinet. I started by cutting a strip of MDF to the height of the cabinet. After marking out all of the dividers, I can start the long process of routing. To keep everything in line, I wanted to route everything in one piece and then cut it down into sections. So first I routed these slots for these horizontal dividers here on the outside and the two middle pieces. And then once I'd done that, I could cut off the two side pieces, flip over what I had left and route the slots for the inner dividers. When drilling out the pilot holes in this MDF, it likes to chip out on the back. So what I like to do is after I drill the hole, is flip it over and just lightly drill again, just to remove the chip out on the other side. So now that the box is completely glued up, I was actually going to use a clamp to make sure it was square. But after measuring from corner to corner in both angles, is 1 meter that way and 1 meter that way, so I don't need to worry. But if it wasn't square, I would use the clamp on the two corners to clamp it to make it square. After cutting a panel of plywood to the correct size, I could then screw it on the back of the cabinet. Next, I cut all the dividers out of a sheet of plywood.
Using a couple of screws, I hold the two vertical dividers together. I marked out where the horizontal dividers cross them, and I can use my jigsaw to cut slots, which I would then make slots in the horizontal dividers to match. Using a metal ruler, I marked out a curve in the dividers for the sandpaper and used my jigsaw and belt sander to create the curve. I then glued all the dividers in place. I actually found out later when removing these that plywood and MDF don't really glue together well. Next was to create each of the drawers. To do this, I cut the sides, back, front and bottom of each drawer out of plywood and cut out some little corner pieces out of MDF. Now that I had all my drawer pieces, I just glued and nailed them together. For the two drawers of router bits, they were just simply a piece of MDF with an MDF drawer front attached. Using a spade bit, I then drilled a hole in the front of each drawer for a drawer pull. I then made a quick drawer to hold all of my sanding discs. Now is the tedious process of marking out the grids in both of the router drawers and drilling holes to hold the router bits. So off camera, I actually replaced all of the plywood dividers with MDF, and for the sandpaper dividers, I actually made a template and used a straight bit in my router table. Deciding that I really hated the look of the plywood drawers, I decided to replace the front with pine board. But I wanted it to look like one continuous board was going along all of the drawers, so I cut the drawer fronts from one piece of pine and finessed the fit with a hand plane. I just wanted very quick and easy drawer pulls, so I just cut some right angle aluminium into pieces and just glued them on with 5-minute epoxy. Last step was to make a simple glue bottle holder to attach onto the side of the cabinet. So there it is. I'm not going to worry about finishing it because it's just shop furniture and honestly I just can't be bothered. But I'm pretty happy with it. I've never really had anywhere to store all my screws and everything. Now I've got somewhere to store all my router bits, which is handy as well. Somewhere to store all my sandpaper, sanding discs, grinding discs. And then on this side, I've just got drill bits, jigsaw blades, parts for my router. That one's empty. And my nail gun nails. If you liked my video, hit that like button down below. Maybe consider subscribing. You can also follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll have links to those down below. And I'll see you next time.